Hello everyone, today we're going to read Wings of Fire, Book 6, The Moon Rising, by Tweety Sutherland. Okay, then let's start. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do it chapter 2, okay? If you didn't see the chapter 1, you can see my, Okay, then. Chapter 2. Moon shivered. What was that? But she knew. She knows since she read a scroll that said Nightwing powers include mind reading and visions of the future. That was where her nightmares came from the future. What she didn't know was whether the vision were inevitable or how to interpret them or what in the pariah to do about them, since as far as she could tell, she was the first Nightwing in 100 years to have legendary powers of the tribe. Lucky me. And if the other Nightwings wouldn't be able to handle mind reading, she was pretty sure visions of the future weren't going to go over well either. She hadn't even told her mom about those. One curse was bad enough. Turtle hadn't looked sinister at all, despite the weird blackness of his mind, and she knew quite a lot about sinister vibes. After living with the Nightwings for the last few months, but perhaps any dragon could become dangerous as they get old. Laugh. He hadn't looked much older or bigger in the vision, or perhaps he was simply much better at hiding his true nature than any other dragon she'd met before. Whoa, a real queen, Secret Keeper said. I've never seen one before. You see Queen Glory all the time, Moon pointed out, only half listening. Queen Glory is barely older than you are, Secret Keeper answered. I mean a real queen, someone who ruled her tribe for years and years. Moon studied her mother sideways. Many of the Nightwing harbored bitter thoughts about having a Rainwing for the queen now, but she didn't think her mother was one of the grumblers. All right, her mother said. Suddenly, briskly, that's enough hiding in the shadow and absorbing. Time for you to go into the cave. Already? Moon said, sized with the horribly familiar feeling of terror. Hello? Aren't you coming inside? This won't be good for you, her mother said. I hope. Remember, Secret Keeper, be strong, just turn and fly away. I love you. And I'll see you soon. Secret Keeper took a step back, averting her face, and Moon glimpsed of the track her mother had been carefully bearing. Oh, I hope this is the right thing. What am I doing? How do I know if this will be good for her? Moon's heart leaped. She doesn't want to leave me. She realized that surge of hope. But her mother was already hugging her and whispering hurried goodbye in her ear. Wait, Moon said desperately. What if I came next year instead? What if... Trust me, Moonbud, her mother said, cupping Moon's snout in her front talons. You will love it here. Just keep your curse hidden and you'll be fine. Act normal no matter what happens. And write to me soon. Goodbye. A moment later, Secret Keeper was just a dark shape winging away through the Dreadball's cloud. Talking Moon's heart away with her. Moon stayed under the trees for a while, decidedly not crying, and watched more students arrive. There weren't actually 1,000, she knew. There were only 35 students, and it was a privilege to be one of the first few invited to attend, which made why me an even more mis- mysterious question. Well then, she thought, when she couldn't put it off anymore, imagine this is the rainforest and you're hungry and your mother been gone for 3 days and you can smell a bunch of bananas inside a cave. If I could be brave enough to feed myself when I had to, I can be brave enough to walk into the school and find a place I'm supposed to be. She shook back her wings, waited for a moment when all was quiet on the landing ledge, and darted forward to the yawning mouth of the entrance cave. Hello, a voice accosted her loudly, while Moon's eyes were still adjusting to the dimmer light inside. Welcome to the Great Hall of Jade Mountain. Let me guess, you're a moon watcher, aren't you? I'm tremendously good at guessing. In fact, one might even say I'm mysterious good at it. The welcoming dragon, whose tail was midnight black, lowered her voice, almost as though I am reading your mantra. Moon stared at the Nightwing in fright. Had she been discovered already? Before even saying a word, that mother say, "Just kidding," said the older Nightwing. Maybe? I'm I am fast speaker. Face speaker. Face speaker. Face. I'm not a teacher like the others. I'm just helping whenever I can. Here your welcome scroll and your map. She thrust the 2 scrolls and Moon's talent. Hey, look, you have a silver scale next to your eyes, just like I do. You are bigger and spikier, though. It is a moon watcher, right? Yes, moon. Now she recognized this Nightwing, which she should have been able to do from her first thought. She only knew 2 2 Nightwing apart from the mother, who didn't radiate gloom and anxiety. Starflight was more thoughtful energy, whilst Face Speaker hopefulness poured out of her like overdevastating sunlight. Moon had seen the 2 of them from afar of the Nightwing village several times aloud. They both had chosen to live with the Rainwing instead. She glanced around, wondering hopefully that Starflight was nearby. He was the Nightwing from the false prophecy, and he'd been blinded when the volcano exploded. Usually, Face Speaker was with him, guiding him, but not today. The enormous entrance cave looked as though it could fit 400 dragons comfortably, with a room for more to soar overhead. Sunlight poured in. Imagining the cranky wall and ripping ceiling, where cascades of golden brown steadily hung down from them, reaching all the way to the floor to form the twist columns. Hanging against the back wall was a huge bronze gong with 3 flying dragons carved in it. A banner wooden of green vines and being strung from the one massive struck to another in the center of the cave, with the letters spelled on it. Giant purple and white flowers welcome students. Two tunnels opening yawned along the left wall of the cave, two more on the right. Next to each one, a map was posted. Wait, sorry. Okay. Yawned along the left of the cave, two more on the right, and next to each map of posted, showing where the tunnel went, and the whole cave of busy and bustling dragons, families saying goodbye, friends saying hello, a few dragons carrying around prey or scrolls. But Moon didn't see Sunny or Starfly anywhere. To her disappointment, her mother was right. They had been kind to her, and Moon liked them. She practically liked them. For the most part, their thought matched what they said and did. Moon, moon, moon. Face Speaker muttered, rolling a scroll between her claws, the moon, the floor, and scanning closely. Here you are. Second tunnel's on the left, fifth cave on the right. She flickered her tail and grinned at Moon. You're going to love your clawmates. Apparently, I'm going to love all sorts of things, Moon thought. And then she noticed that Face Speaker had said. Clawmates? She echoed. What are those? The dragons you're sharing a cave with, Face Speaker said brightly. Moon's wings shivered violently, all to the way in her wingtips. Sharing a cave all the time? Ooh! Here come some Ice Wing, Face Speaker cried. Want to stick around and meet them? No, thanks, Moon stammered. She hurried to the second tunnel on the left, and as she turned into it, she heard a whoosh of wings and felt a cold chill sweep through the cave. She peeked back around the corner and saw two haughty-looking ice dragons pace inside, frowning. No, she definitely did not want to meet them, no, or in fact ever. Fifth cave on the right, Moon murmured to herself, moving on. The tunnel wound in a carving shape like a slithering tail. Down into the cave overhead, grass bean and butterfly blue and hibiscus yellow glass globes hung from the wire strung along the ceiling, each of them glowing like a fire so the walls can lit with color. It didn't feel like she was going underground. It felt more like sunlight canopy of the rainforest. Moon had been picturing dark gray tunnel and cramping snow walls, but now that she thought about it, she realized Sunny wouldn't have wanted her school to be anything like a gloomy cave under the mountain when the prophecy dragon grew up. Soon the tunnel settled out. The Moon could see small cave opening all along either side. This must be a corridor to sleeping caves. She looked sensed that some had 2 or 3 dragonets inside already. Each cave she passed seemed to be bright, bristling with chatter, and the wings and claws and spikes, though the clamor for the space in her head. Father said they had a library. I'm going to learn to read. Oh, I hope I'm not not the only one who can read yet. That would be so embarrassing. What do what do we eat up the mountains? We'd better get seagull sometimes. And soon, gosh, I'm hungry. Would anyone be mad at me if I went looking for seagulls? I wonder where the prophecy dragons are. I wonder if they'll notice me. So cold here. I miss the desert. They really expect me to share a cave with the rainwing. Moon scrunched her eyes shut, trying to hold back the headache. This was what it had been like when she first joined the Nightwing village. After the peace and quiet of solitary life in the rainforest, all those voices in her head had been a horrible shock, especially when they were all so friendly and hostile. They still echoed in there, even though the Nightwing were too far away now for her to actually hear them. It's not fair. Sacred Keeper should be punished. I I bet she thinks she bet better than us. Imagine getting to eat every day. The dragonet doesn't know anything. She thinks she better than us. Imagine getting to eat every day. The dragonet doesn't know anything about our tribe or what we went through living on volcano. How can she ever be one of us? She was a feeling, perhaps more a wishful hope, that there should be a way to block all of the voices. But, of course, there was no one who could teach her how to do that. Mostly she dealt the Nightwing noise by escaping the tallest tree and farthest waterfall. But where could she go there? She stuck in the classes or trapped in a cave with her clawmates. Her brain should always be full of dying of other dragons. I figured it out. I'll make this work, or I'll run back to the rainforest, deal with my mother's disappointment. Moon opened her eyes against the fixed gaze of the fifth cave. She squeezed past a pair of chattering sandwing who were talking up most of the tunnel, and one of them stared at her intently with his obscene black eyes. Nightwing flashed through his head. Doran doesn't like them. We just sent a couple back to the glory as our prisoner. We have no idea what they can do in the battle yet, especially if they really have no power after all. Needs future study. She's kind of cool looking, with those silver scales by her eyes, seemed nervous, twitching her wing back to like a small dent. She is up to something, or shy. Moon tried not to look back at him as she went by. She tried to seem unabrasive and harmless and part of the shadows. Our sleeping cave had a few sticks hanging over the doorway, like jagged teeth. She ducked inside, found more fire-lit glass globes strung across the hanging over the doorway with jagged teeth. She dug inside, found more fire-lit glass globe strung across the ceiling in here. One green, one fierce red gold, and one yellow. Two more globes unlit rested on ledges of the either side of the door. And then there was other at her level on the far side of the cave. She picked each one up and lit small flames of candle inside, set the light, and survived the spacer. It was nicer than she'd expected. The doorway made up one wall, and a sleeping spot had been arranged along each of the other three walls. One of these were bare rock edge. Other was a pile of rainforest leaves and mosses, and the third was woven a green hammock ingeniously suspended from the roof. Moon hesitated. It seemed as if the beds being deliberately designed with different dragons in mind, but she wasn't sure which one meant for her. She knew which she wanted, but how would someone else guess that what she'd like? Maybe she should wait for her classmates and see what they want. I wish I could have a private cave. Maybe if I ask Starflight really nicely. She noticed that there were also 5 scroll wrapped arranged around the cave above the height of the floor leg, each polished until there were as smooth as her claw scales. There was an empty one next to each bed, and one either side of the door. She took a closer look and realized in jumped happiness that there was by a door filled with scrolls, a little sign above to say free reading, hope you like them. Moon slid welcome scroll and her map scroll in one of the empty racks, and wrapped her tail around her back talons and started going through the scroll by the door. It was a mix of all kinds of things that interested her. History, adventures, stories, ancient legends, encyclopedias of all the plants and animals in each tribe territory. Suddenly, she remembered Starflight finding her with a scroll one day. He'd quizzed her on what she liked to read. If she had chose these for me, he must have really been listening. She noticed that there weren't any of the recent scrolls about the dragonets of prophecy and their epic quest to the end of the war sounding section. She guessed with a smile the woven select these Starflight Sunny Glory found those practically scrolls rather embarrassing. She also found one early reader scroll that must have been written for tiny dragonets with giant letters and a guide to the alphabet. This seemed so out of place. She sat and puzzled over a minute. Is this for one of my classmates, am I to be living with a 1 year old? Her mother had mentioned that the academy would take dragonets of various ages, so maybe it was possible. Wow, this smelled weird. Out of nowhere, Moon felt a sudden burst of angry energy, like a spear driving through her skull. She crumbled forward, clutching her heads. His shouts and roars echoed the hall. Get your fish-smelling tail away from me. I've faced bigger seaweed than him in battle. If he's trying to start something, don't you dare blow smoke in my face. She could be one of the Skywing who destroyed the Summer Palace. Oh, Moon whispered. Oh, oh, oh. The headache was so blistering. She considered running into the rock wall to knock herself out. And then, very softly, under all the yelling, she heard, "Ah, there you are." Moon's head snapped up, and she winced. Another bolt of pain crackled through her. This voice was unlike anything she'd ever heard before. It sounded crisp and clear and right into the ear, as if it was talking to her. I'm talking to you. Instinctive fear whipped Moon's vines, pearled her. All of her mother's nightmare sinister started playing again in her head. Don't trust anyone new. Don't trust anything unusual. Don't let anyone know what you can do. Stay secret, stay hidden, stay safe. Green moons, said the voice. Aren't you a jumpy one? Who are you? Moon whispered. Who are you? It answered back. And then, as if the speaker had plugged away, hello, Moon Watcher. Under their telepathy. How was this possible? Moon tried to push back. She imagined reaching out her talons, trying to grab one of the boys, open up, and had a mind behind it. It's as if you had no training at all. The voice chuckled. How are you? Gain the pause. Time. Moon thought furiously at the numbers as she could. 95, 76, 12, 4 already, and that's all you can do? Who are you? Moon demanded. How are you doing that? You really have no idea. The voice mushed, hint of puzzlement. Fascinating. Let me think about that. She listened, pressing the temple to horrid headache, but the voice didn't come back. Are you still there? She whispered. No response. Did I imagine it? Maybe I imagined it. Maybe the headache and all the noise confused me. Oh, maybe mind reading is finally driving me crazy. She shook her head and blinked, but it was like a real mind reader. Maybe they would teach me how to use my power. Or expose me for everything. Her wings round her with the inches shiver. Hey now. Hey, there, stop. A real voice called and squabbled. Clay! More the several voice of the moon's head. It's him. It's really him. Ooh, he's even cuter in real life. Ooh, look at his heroic limp. Ooh, I think he'll look at me. Moon poked her head to the cave and saw a large sloop sloping back Prophecy Mudwing. Clay was gently holding one of the riding Seawing and a hissing Skywing. It's only the first day, folks, he said gently, nodding to be so grumpy already. You're probably both just hungry. Carnelian, take a deep breath and see me later, Pike. Walk with me. He spread his wing over the Seawing's shoulder, firmly guided him away down the tunnel. Skywing watched them go with narrow eyes, growled into the herself. Then, to Moon's alarm, swung around and marched right to the Moon's cave. Without saying a word, she threw herself onto the rock ledge bed, folded her large scale, let the wings forward over her head, and proceeded to do stew in solemn silence. One of my clawmates realized, yay. She blinked at the Skywing for a moment, and wondering if she should say something, her heart beating fast and headache was still there. Receding slowly toward the back to the skull, she cleared a throat, swallowed open her mouth, and then gave up, turning back the scrolls. Several minutes later, a whirlwind burst into the cave. Nearby, a trembling Moon with the bright yellow talons. Oh my gosh, sorry, it yelped. I didn't even see you there. I guess that's the lightning skill hiding in the shadow. Right, haha. They put me in Nightwing color in her brain. Hello, isn't anyone worried about the potential of post-ing stress? But the little Rainwing didn't drop her enormous smile for a moment. Her skill, too, didn't shift. They stayed blindingly bright, banana yellow dotted, and spotly alarm raspberry pink. She seized Moon's front talon and pumped the chair fully up and down. Isn't this exciting? I'm so excited. I can hardly stand it. Nah, that's why I'm this color. By the way, I have been trying all the morning to turn myself something more dignifying, and I can't do it. My skills are like, yay, we're really here, and no, listen to me. Moon noticed that there was a spot on the Rainwing that wasn't eye melting color. Technically, triangle of 3 small black smudged on the wings that looked like tiny splash ink. I'm Pikachu, said Rainwing, added, beaming. You're noisy, the Skywing observed from under her wings. I love this place, Pikachu said. She let go of Moon's and bounced over a hammock while her thought went. Secondly, library, art, friends. Have you explored all yet? They're the most amazing library. Not that I can read yet, but oh my gosh, I'm working on really hard. And an art cave. It's fully of all colored paint. A couple of Rainwing just emoted all over it. We should make amazing painting and escorted our cave with them. Wouldn't that be amazing? I might really die of joy, said Skywing flatly. You look have healthier than the most of the other Nightwing, Pikachu said to Moon, eventually deciding to ignore the Skywing for a moment. Your scales are so shiny, I'd almost guessed you were Rainwing in disguise. But you're not, are you? I didn't grow up in the volcano, Moon said softly. My mother hid my eggs in the rainforest. Oh, Pikachu said, and her brain went, Ah, I've heard of you. Whoa, that's a relief. That means you weren't where near the Nightwing who locked me up. I mean, I'm all of honesty and making friends across the tribes of forgiving each other, everything but serious. It was scary here, there, like I thought I might actually die, and so I figured maybe I started my making friends with some other tribes first and gradually work my way back around to the Nightwings. But you are hardly Nightwing at all. So that's okay then. Moon was hardly a Nightwing at all. Was exactly what she'd been hearing at Nightwing thought. About her for a moment. There was a little brother, someone just said loud. So, what's your name? Pikachu said. Moon. I mean Moonwatcher, but just Moon, really. Sure, Moon. And how are you? Pikachu asked the Skywing. I'm a warrior, a scarlet dragon that barely keeping her face hidden, a loyal soldier of Ruby Army who never did anything to disturb this punishment of schooling and being forced into this mumbles over there. Moon hunched her shoulder, looked down at her claws. That wasn't fair. She did not mumble. Pikachu turned back to Moon, her eyes sparkling. Ooh, it's a mystery, she said. We have to guess the third claw's maiden name. I'll go first. I bet it's Squidgy. Squilchy? What do you think? Squilchy is a cute name, right? Moon didn't think she ought to smile. And given the way of Outer Reg coming off the Skywing, Squilch and is a Mudwing name, is it? She pointed out. True, said Pikachu. Pikachu may be name friendly. That would suit her so well. That not Skywing name either, Moon said, the red dragon's tail twitching dangerously. Think outside the box, Moon. Look at her. I'm sure she loved to be called friendly. Let's do that until we finally find her real name, Pikachu said, and then broke down to the helpless giggles. The Skywing unfolded herself mysteriously and glared at Pikachu with her wings spread wide. I have fought 14 battles, said Skywing thundered. No one giggled at me, least of all the Rainwing who can't even read and know nothing about the war. She jumped off the ledge and swept furiously into the door. There was a pause at Pikachu, giggles under control. Ouch, she said, but mostly fair. Loud, I think that is an impression to experiment on the Nightwings, and that's during a royal challenge. Should give me some battle credit, don't you? I think Clay said her name cleanly. Maybe, Moon offered. Oh, that's pretty, Pikachu said. Do you mind if I take the hemlock? By the way, Moon shook her head. The moss bed is all right with me. That's what you want on while we're growing up in the rainforest floor, right? Because you guessed, Nani. This will be so great. We can bond how much miss papayas and honorable sloth. But I don't miss anything yet. It's too fabulous here. Come see the library. Oh, said nervously. I think I will stay here for a bit longer. I need to just uh nonsense, Pinkachi said. She poked on the moon's wing with her wand. We're in a new place. This is really exciting. I want to show you everything. Oh, I hope she don't not boring. Pinkachi's mind whispering. I don't mind shy. I am the sky. But please don't be boring. Moon her shoulder and folded her wings back. I made trembling down to terror, but this absolutely did not want to seem boring to her first possible chance to friend here. All right, let's go, she said, taking the deep breath. Yay, Pikachu cried. She bounded out the door and Moon followed. As she stepped into the hallway, she heard it again, a bell voice on her head. Oh, Moon Watcher, my new favorite dragon. This dragonette will, with her brain full of bubbles, is not your only possibility. I believe you and I are destined for a great friendship. Moon shivered. Was it all? Was it real? Was it real? Somewhere reaching out to her. If so, how? And who was it? Another student? Was it fellow Nightwing? Mystery hatching in tribes, long lost powers, just like her. How could she hide someone who knew exactly what she was? I can help you, the voice whispered. And better yet, you can help me. Okay, this is the end of chapter 3, okay? Chapter 2. Next time we're going to do chapter 3. This was Wings of Fire, Moon Rising by Tweety Sutherland. Thank you.